Hola, and welcome to Ticket to Life. And this is Henrie. I hope everyone is having a great morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I am from Texas, in case you are new to Ticket to Life. And I would like to thank all my listeners in Atlanta, Georgia, Metro Atlanta, and the Dallas, Georgia area on WDJY 99.1 FM every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Central and 7 a.m. Eastern. You can hear Ticket to Life, and I can be heard on pretty much any podcast platform. My podcast, like I said, if you are new to Ticket to Life, is about anything and everything about life. And I do mean anything and everything. So if you'd like to request a topic, don't hesitate to let me know at tickettolife022@gmail.com. And I will get back to you, or you can share a story and I change the names. You can be anonymous forever and ever, make up an email address, and I won't hunt you down or anything like that. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about hugging. Are you a hugger? Because I am a hugger. So did you know that there are some people that hate to be hugged? And perhaps you may know some, because I do. I do. And again, it's a phobia. Perhaps I need to change the name of this podcast to Phobias of the World. It's called Haphephobia, and it is the fear of being touched or hugged. You think that everyone wants to be hugged and touched, but some people just don't like it. And it can be an intense fear of being touched and can cause panic attacks. And I mean, even feeling like throwing up or hyperventilation. Now, I don't have that, but I like I said, I could imagine if there's certain something that I am fearful of that I don't want to be touched. I could see that. So we will get to that in a bit. I just wanted to say, how's your life been going since last week? I hope that many of you have had some good things come your way. But I know that we can't all have good things come all our way all the time. I'd like for everything come my way, just like be roses and rainbows, but that's just not like life is. But I will tell you not to forget that all things do come to pass. It will go away. It will get better. There are better things in your future. If something happens, there just is. Of course, if you're a negative Nelly, then not sure what's going to happen. But don't you just hate it when you're having a bum day and you want to share it with someone and they walk up to you and they're all bubbly and they tell you how their life is so good and that they just know that nothing could ruin it for them. And you think, damn it, I'll keep my bum day to myself because I was about to share everything with you. And you're thinking, please, oh, please let them go away. And instead, they don't. They keep talking. And usually, if you've ever noticed when someone's excited, even men and women here, their voice goes up an octave. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited, because I don't talk like that. But I know that I have heard myself when I'm really excited. My pitch is higher. So all of a sudden you're waiting for them to walk away and you're just like, oh, please. Okay, I'm happy you're happy. I'm not going to tell you how horrible my life is going right now. And then bam, they hug you. And at that point you do cringe and you do want to throw up. Now I do have a friend now, and I'm going to hating to be hugged. I do have a friend and she hates to be hugged. And I'm not sure why, but she is terrified of birds also. I mean, like terrified. If you go and have lunch with her, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this story, but she just like freaks out. I freak out with, in public places, not like at a restaurant. If you saw bugs or rats or mice or something, yeah, that would freak me out. But anyway, so she does freak out. And I I asked why she didn't like to be hugged or touched, and she said that she doesn't just like them. She doesn't know why. She just doesn't like them. And just to let you know, she does have a child, and I'm not sure how that happened, but it did. Actually, I do have a couple of friends that don't like to be hugged, and I will tell you, in Texas, we hug. We hug. It's just something we do. So you may meet someone's friend for the first time and they put their hand out to shake your hand for the introduction. And more than likely, the other person, not everyone, but here in Texas, some more likely that other person says, I'm a hugger. And they dive in and they hug you. And if you like it or not, you're getting a hug. Now, if they start hugging you, won't let you go and start going, then you're in trouble and you need to push them away. But no. So I know it sounds a little bit aggressive, but Texans are just lovable. That's what we do. Now, if it's a business meeting or someone important type of, or you're in some important type situation, we do mind our manners and proper etiquette and give a handshake. But, inside we're probably bursting to give you a hug, which is crazy, but that's just what we do. So when I'm going to backtrack here when I was talking about phobias and stuff. I'm not a fan of bugs. I mean, we don't have any, but randomly you'll get bugs in your house. We get what they're called anoles, ANOL here in Texas. They look like the little gecko from the Geico commercials, but they're real cute and they're little and they change color like a salamander. No, what is it? Well, whatever it is, not a salamander. Chameleon. There we go. Anyway, they change colors, for camouflage or whatever. And anyway, we were in New York City. This has been a while back. And I can't even tell you the name of the restaurant because I do not remember. And no, we did not return. But I love New York. I love it. And yes, this is not why we didn't go back. We just haven't gone back in a while. But we were at a restaurant and enjoying our food. I was drinking my Diet Coke and everything was great. And I asked for a refill, so they get me a refill. Then I start looking at my glass and there's a dead roach at the bottom of my glass. But I was kind and I didn't freak out. I wanted to freak out, but I didn't. And it was a little one. It wasn't big. It was big enough for me to see, though. It blended in with the Diet Coke. But anyway, and I called the little waiter guy over and I said, excuse me, but I didn't want to make a big deal. But there's a roach in my glass. And he was very kind. He went and got the manager. Yeah, we got our food free, but it was still disgusting. So I have had roach juice, I guess. I don't know. And I'm sure it fell in the eyes. What restaurant doesn't, they all have traps outside their restaurants here in Texas and grocery stores. And I'm sure they do throughout the world. I mean, I would hope they do. So anyway, it was disgusting. But anyway, I would go back to New York. So if anyone wants to offer me a expense paid trip to New York, I will go. But anyway, back to hugging. So in Texas, we do hug a lot. It is just a natural thing. We're just huggers. But I do admit that some people, you can tell they don't like it. So during COVID, we had some people over, and yes, we broke the rules. We are rule breakers in my house for some reason. But we didn't get arrested by the COVID police. There was no COVID police. I'm kidding. And we had some music playing and enjoying our social distancing. And yes, we didn't get too close together. We did play Jenga. We had that big old giant Jenga that my husband built. I'll have to take pictures and show you that. It's a lot of fun. It can be intense sometimes playing that Jenga game though. Anyway, he made it. He didn't build it, but he made the blocks for it. But anyway, so our house backs up to the neighbor's house. They're a little higher and we're a little lower, and they can't see in our yard and we can't see in theirs, but we're all about privacy in Texas too. But anyway, so we have music, we're laughing. So I thought, oh my gosh, the new neighbors, I hope we're not because they were outside too. And so I get up and I go over there and I go, hi. hi, I'm Henrie, and I sure hope that we aren't making too much noise. Then all of a sudden, the neighbor gets up and she grabs me and she hugs me. And of course, I'm freaking out in my mind because of the COVID. Because I'm not even hugging the people that are over. We are really trying to stay far apart. We have antibacteria everywhere outside. And then she hugs me and says, oh my gosh, no, we just love it. We love you've got good music and hearing the laughter. And then I walked back like, oh my God, I was just hugged by someone. So I can understand to a certain degree why people don't like to be hugged. But that was a different time. So again, I'm hugging everyone now. Uh, but, it was COVID time and you weren't supposed to be around anyone, which was so crazy. But we, by the grace of God, we're fine. And, we did eventually get COVID last year, but it was after the whole crazy COVID stuff. But, anyway, so I didn't know her, so it did make me cringe. So I actually understood that. And now that my daughter lives in Kansas, she's a lot like me because she's a Texas girl. And she told me that they are not huggers, there in Kansas, and they are more reserved. And I'm sure that my daughter has had to back off from some of her hugging when she sees friends. It's funny how we are so different from state to state. So here's a heads up. If you come to Texas, don't be shocked if you meet someone and they hug you and say, I'm a hugger, because they may just do that. I don't know what it is. It's just, that's what we do. It's a Southern thing, I guess. It's just, I'm not sure. But I will admit there are times that people just need a hug. And we just aren't sure if we should or shouldn't hug someone. Because especially if they're an acquaintance, you know them, but you're not like best friends with them. And you know that they could be going through something, like maybe an illness in the family. They could be grieving the loss of someone, or maybe just having a bad day. Because, we don't know what anyone is going through each and every day. People could go into the office or go into their workplace, I shall say, and they're just, you think they're grumpy, but they're not. But you don't know people's personal life unless you know them very well. And they share that with you. But a lot of people go through a lot of stuff, and we don't know I don't know what you're actually going through. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. And I hope that this will help those people that are non-huggers, because you do need to seek some help if you want to be hugged, only if you want to be hugged. But anyway, back to, have you ever noticed that someone probably needs a hug, but you're not sure, or you're not sure why? It's just an instinct, and you go up and you hug them, and then you regret it because then they start sobbing and they're going through a hard time, and you don't know why, and they're sobbing and you don't know how to break away, or do you ask what's going on? Sometimes we just need hugs. Here's a story. We have a small little convenience store where I live, and I went in there. I don't know I guess we got gas and I went to pay, or maybe I went to the restroom. Who knows why I went in there, because usually I don't go in there. Because I'm not a store person. If you've heard my podcast, I'm not a grocery store person. But anyway, so I go in there, and this girl is obviously upset, the cashier. She was really upset. You could tell she'd been crying, and she's the only one in the store, and I'm in there. And I said, are you okay? And she said, no, I've just had a really rough morning. A lot of things are just bad in my life right now. Yeah, I've never seen this woman before in my life, but I did say, could I hug you? She goes, yes, please. So I hugged her for a little bit, and she hugged me. We hugged tight like we knew each other, but she just needed that hug. Told her I'd pray for her. Didn't need to know what she's going through because it's none of my business. Sometimes people just need hugs. And some people, I know that's just who I am, but sometimes you want to do it, but you're just so standoffish because you're worried about what people will think. But you know what? We cannot worry about what people think. If you want to hug somebody, well, then damn it, go hug them. Because sometimes you just need a hug when you're going through a bad thing or you're alone or feeling lonely and you just wish somebody would hug you. And sometimes that there are people that say, "Can I give you a hug?" And they hug you, and it's just to find out what's going on in your life. And it's none of their business unless you care to share it. And if they say, "Well, tell me what's wrong." I really don't care to talk about it. Then you don't have to. And if they say, "Well, are you sure?" Because, no, I'll tell you later if I choose to tell you. And people just need to understand that if you don't want to be hugged, then you don't need to be hugged. And I am trying to get better about asking people, "Do you mind if I hug you?" But when I do meet people and they tell me I'm a hugger, I hug them. It's just a quick hug. It's just like I said, it must be a Southern thing. I don't know. That's or a Texas thing. I'm not sure what states around the country hug like that and do not, but that's just what we do. And back to New York, I don't want to give New York City, Manhattan a bad rap. It's beautiful. I love it. It's a city of energy. It's, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen, plus, roaches have protein, they say. So, I didn't die or anything from it. But I love it. And I'm just glad that, I was able to say something without freaking out because, other times in my life, I probably would have freaked out. But sometimes I have to act like an adult, which is hard for me sometimes. But anyway, back to giving hugs. I can see where people don't want to be hugged. Sometimes people literally just want to be left alone. Have you ever had that? Because I don't want to see anybody. Well, I'm not like that anymore. I tell you, age is so much better when you get older. You're just like, yeah, I'm fine. Move on. There's nothing to worry about here. There's nothing to see. But my question to the non-huggers, honestly, out there is how there's certainly a need for you to feel that hug sometimes or that touch. They're just, to me, for me, just to have that touch. But that haphephobia, that's what it's called. I don't know. I think I may have mentioned it. But anyway, if for a non-hugger, I don't know how that happens. And I'm not saying that something horrible or happened to you as a child, because I don't know. Or is it just something that develops like anxiety? I mean, are we born with anxiety? I don't know. But, something like that. So if you do have haphephobia, let me know how you comfort yourself. How do you find comfort? You grab a pillow? Do you hug your pet because your pet can't hug you back? I don't know. I'm just curious for someone trying to help me I don't know how I would handle that. So I'm just seriously curious. How do you feel comfort for someone trying to help you feel more comfortable and console you in a time of need? I'm just curious, and you don't need to share this with me, but if you care to, Ticket to Live 022@gmail.com. You can make up a Gmail address and send me your story or let me know, because I am curious, and don't be shy. I promise I won't mention names. You can make up a name. I don't really care, but I am curious. Other than, when I asked my friend, she goes, "I don't know. I just don't like to be touched. I don't like to be hugged." Okay. Well, okay, then I won't. So you have to respect that person. So sometimes I catch myself when I see her and I want to hug her, but I don't. So I just kind of pat her shoulder. Gives me some sense of I've touched you, not to be mean, but I don't think about it because, again, that's just what I do. But, so anyway, I just feel like we all need to be able to console someone somehow and want to do that. So if you do have haphephobia and didn't know that it had a name, go talk to a doctor if you are longing for those hugs, but just not sure how to learn to accept them without cringing or getting sick or something. So haphephobia. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. But anyway, it is an intense and overwhelming fear of being touched. And many people don't like being touched by strangers. I mean, they don't. I mean, as a kid, if a stranger were to touch me, I would have freaked out. And now, I guess it's because I'm a grown woman. I guess you touch me and I don't like the way it feels. Well, trust me, you'll find out about it. Like, hey, I don't think so. But for some people, like I said, I think it could be like their gender. They don't like someone of the opposite sex or opposite gender. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm trying to say. They don't like to be touched, or they just don't like people to touch them. So I know it might not, this topic may not be that interesting to talk about, and you are actually talking to someone and realize they want to hug you and you go, no. And then you might have this and you don't even know it. I mean, and that's okay, because again, there's some people that will want to hug you and it's a fake hug. You usually will know when it's a fake hug, that you will know that person is more about wanting to find out what's going on. I mean, we all have people like that. And my thing is, if I've even asked people, do you want to share it with me? And they'll say no. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to talk later, let me know. If not, I'll be thinking about you. So those are the things that I think are very important, having human contact. And of course, verbally being able to express how you speak, how you talk to someone, some people might get mad because you don't want a hug from them. I know, is that silly? But yeah, some people, well, I tried to hug you and you wouldn't take my hug. Well, okay, you just left the bathroom and I know you didn't wash your hands. I don't know, just what people do. If you don't want to be touched, then guess what? You should not be touched. But honestly, if you didn't think it was something, then maybe, your next visit to the doctor, tell them. They may give you some suggestions because, again, like I said, everyone needs a little bit of comfort. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a life coach. I'm just Henrie, and these are my opinions. And I really think that it's nice to be touched, and it's nice to get a hug from someone, even strangers. But the other thing is, a lot of people are moving to Texas. And I'm just warning you, if you are moving to Texas, you might get a hug from someone. You might come and, again, somebody might meet you. I don't think if for business or anything, they're going to hug you. I don't know. You might meet someone that might do that. But I was wondering, why are so many people moving to Texas? And they said it's the cost of living. The Texas cost of living is low here. And there's a lot of jobs. Well, I would beg to differ on the jobs because there's so many people say, I can't find a job. Well, there are a lot of jobs. You can see everyone in the universe is hiring. But lots of jobs, and the weather is warm, and there's just stuff to do here. And Texas is a great place. Of course, some of the Texans that are listening to this right now are saying, no, stop. We don't want anyone else coming here. Texas is big, people. We have plenty of room for everyone. But anyway, and honestly, it is the Texas. One of the main things is that we do have the Southern charm and the hospitality. Of course, if you've noticed, I don't speak with a very big drawl, Texas drawl. I do have a little bit of an accent, but my parents made sure we spoke properly. So anyway, some people have said, oh, you must be from up north. No, I'm just from Texas. But I think there used to be a song, and it was called the 50 Nifty United States, that we had to learn here in Texas. I don't know if other states teach that song. I'm not sure. But in it, you're singing 50 Nifty United States, 13 original colonies. And you sing the song, and then you sing all the states in alphabetical order. And then when you get to Texas, you shout out, Texas! Texas is the best, and Texas is the best of the 50 Nifty United States. And to me, it is, because I've lived here all my life. And some people come here and they hate it. So if maybe they don't like the Southern hospitality and charm or all those hugs, and I can understand. But it's said, according to the 2024 Texas Relocation Report, the top 5 states that people moved from to Texas from 2022 were California, Florida, New York, Illinois, and Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma is just like from my house, it's 2.5 hours, 3 hours from here. So it's not that far, but it matters where in Oklahoma. So, anyway, if you are not a native Texan and you are here listening to Ticket to Life, welcome to Texas. I hope you love your stay. I hope you find much happiness here. And if you have moved from Texas and regret it, well, you're always welcome to come back home. I do love Texas. And again, I am warning all of you about these hugs, but it is a serious phobia because I would not want to hug anyone knowing that it's going to upset them. I would think that we would all have that bit of, what's the word I'm looking for, people? Respect. There's a word. That's a hard word for the day, wasn't it? Anyway, a respect for people and their boundaries and stuff. There was, have you ever had someone get in your face when they talk to you? Not mad. They just get in your face. I knew a teacher, and she was probably so close. Excuse me, I just hit my mic. Anyway, she would get so close that if she pronounced a letter with the letter P, your hair would puff. I just remember my hair flying out of my face. But anyway, social distancing to a certain degree, people. Let's not get this. I don't need to get all your germs in my face either. But anyway, this is Henrie on Ticket to Live, and thank you so much for listening. And if you're a hugger, great. If I ever meet you, expect a hug. If not, I will not. And the other thing is, I know every week I do end this and say, find your blessings. And I'm sure some people are like, what is she talking about? When I say find your blessings, we are surrounded by blessings each and every day. You are my blessing for being a listener. I am blessed to have a roof over my head, a wonderful family, my health, a terrific family. My kids are great. My siblings are great. I have wonderful friends, and those are my blessings. So I do thank God for my blessings each and every day. And I'm so thankful for Ticket to Live, and I'm thankful for WDJY in Atlanta for listening and asking me to be on their radio program. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I will be praying for you. And if you don't like for people to pray for you, I'm going to pray for you anyway. And I hope that you have a wonderful next 24 hours. Until next week, I can't wait to talk to you then. Thank you so much for listening. This is Henrie.